guys, it's Ryan. Welcome back to another lunches video. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ryan. I am a full-time working mom. I have a 7-month-old son, and my husband and I live here in the suburbs of Chicago. I typically work in downtown Chicago, but right now I am actually working out of my home. I'm trying to take advantage of this time at home to make some more interesting lunches, something other than my normal packed salad that I take downtown every day. By trying out some new and fun recipes. So today we are going to make a sweet potato topped with sort of a chickpea mixture. I will go ahead and show you the recipe as well as the ingredients you're going to need for this one. I'm actually really excited about this one, and it is also 1 o'clock. Work has gotten away from me today, so I'm also really hungry, so I can't wait to get this one in the oven while I keep working, and then I will go and do what I normally do, which is sit and eat while I finish up my workday. All right, let's go ahead and show you guys this one. Okay, so this recipe is out of the Midwest Living. This is the September-October issue. And the actual picture of this recipe is right here. It's the sweet potato with Moroccan chickpeas. And here is the actual recipe. It starts down here. Carries on up here. Sorry for the wet spots on here. I was washing up my produce before I started this and got some water on the actual recipe. So anyway, what you will need for this one is, for the actual sweet potatoes, you're obviously going to need sweet potatoes. I'm going to make 2 of these today. I have an all-day meeting tomorrow, which you guys don't care about. So it's going to be hard for me to actually roast one of these. So I'm going to make the full lunch sort of twice today, and then later in the week when I'm making this, I will just roast a new sweet potato every time and add the toppings. Then for the topping part of this, you're going to need chickpeas, onion, red pepper, and then the recipe actually calls for golden raisins. I don't have those, I just have regular raisins, but I'm hoping that will be fine. And then it gets topped with some fresh mint. And then for kind of the sauce that goes on the vegetables and chickpeas, you're going to need some olive oil, some tahini, salt, cinnamon. The recipe also calls for cloves. I thought I had some. I apparently don't. So if you have cloves, use them. If not, skip it like I'm going to. And then the recipe actually calls for harissa paste. I have harissa seasoning, just a dried McCormick's. I'm going to go ahead and use this because I didn't want to buy another ingredient. I will tell you, this harissa seasoning is what actually drew me to this recipe in the first place. I used to make some recipes that called for harissa in HelloFresh boxes, and I haven't used it since. So I'm really kind of stoked to be trying that flavor profile again. You also need some lemon juice. Please excuse the sorry state of my lemon. I clearly used the zest for a different recipe already, as well as some garlic. Okay, let's go ahead and get all of this into some fun lunch. As always, I will link the recipes down below, as well as the magazines where you can find them. To get started on this, I actually deviated from the recipe a little. The recipe had you make the dressing first and then prep the chickpeas first. I wanted to get my sweet potatoes in the oven first just because I figured they would take the longest. So the first thing I did was brush them on the cut side with olive oil, as well as hit them with a half a teaspoon of salt. I then placed the potatoes cut side down on a baking pan and got those into a 425-degree oven to bake for 30 to 35 minutes. Then in a bowl, I combined 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of tahini, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, as well as 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. And then I whisked this together to combine it. I then went ahead and added the 1/4 cup of raisins to this mixture. As I mentioned, the recipe actually called for golden raisins, which you were supposed to chop. I just added regular raisins that I left whole, and I actually thought this worked out totally fine. I didn't think that they needed to be chopped, nor did I think they needed to be golden. I then got started making the mixture for the chickpeas. I put together 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of the harissa paste, as well as a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then you would add an 1/8 teaspoon of cloves if you have it. I also added a clove of garlic that you see me mincing here. I then added a 15-ounce can of chickpeas and a small bell pepper that I chopped up.
also went ahead and prepared 2 small onions by chopping them up, and then I added that to the chickpea and red pepper mixture as well. I then went ahead and stirred all of the vegetables and the chickpeas until they were well coated in that oil and spice mixture. Then after that, I went ahead and chopped up a 1/4 cup of fresh mint leaves. I did this just because I was in the chopping mode and got this ready for later. I then went ahead and spread the chickpeas and vegetables onto a baking sheet, and I also got those into the oven after the potatoes had cooked for about 15 minutes. You're going to want to roast the chickpeas until they're crisp, which should take about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll want to stir them once about halfway through to make sure they are roasting evenly. Once you finish roasting your sweet potatoes and chickpeas, it's just about assembling this dish. It really is that easy. Go ahead and plate up a sweet potato, then add your chickpea and veggie mixture. You're then going to sprinkle on some of the tahini dressing mixture, and then add some fresh mint to top it. As I'm watching this, I'm like drooling. I would love to have this for lunch again, and I definitely will 100% be making this dish again. Hey guys, it's Ryan. Welcome back to another episode of this lunch series. Today I'm going to be making buffalo chicken baked potatoes. I am actually really excited about this. I love buffalo chicken, and I feel like I like finding creative ways to incorporate it into recipes that aren't like going out and buying wings. So let me go ahead and show you guys the recipe as well as the ingredients that you're going to need for this one, and then I'll show you how I put this together. Since, as you guys know, you've heard me say before, I'm working from home right now during the pandemic. I have access to an oven, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare my baked potato fresh every day, but I will prepare the sort of dressing that goes on top as well as the buffalo chicken and store that in the fridge, and then just use parts of it every day to top the potato. That's how I've been doing most of these lunches. When I'm at home, I will prepare each of the components and then kind of store them separately, and then whatever fresh vegetable or ingredient I can make the day of, I will, just to make it speedy so I can get back to working during lunch. All right, let me show you guys what you need for this one.
Okay, so here is the recipe. It's the buffalo chicken baked potato recipe, and it comes out of the Pioneer Woman Fall magazine. Clearly this magazine has gotten a lot of love already. Here are the ingredients that you're going to need for this one. You are obviously going to need a baked potato and some olive oil to roast it with. I have some other baked potatoes ready to go this week, but today I'm just going to be cooking one. Alright, so you're going to make a blue cheese dressing that goes on top of these potatoes. For that, you will need sour cream. I happen to have light sour cream on hand, so I will use that. It calls for mayo. I have Miracle Whip on hand, so I will use that. You need a dash of Worcestershire sauce, as well as some buttermilk. And you also will notice I am missing the key ingredient in a blue cheese dressing, the blue cheese. I'm not the biggest fan of blue cheese, and if I am not the biggest fan of something that I don't think is the healthiest thing in the world for you, I'm going to go ahead and skip it. I think the dressing, I'm putting that in quotes, for this will still be delicious with just these ingredients, but certainly if you're a blue cheese fan, you should definitely add it as you deem necessary. Then for the actual chicken, you're going to use a rotisserie chicken that you've kind of cut up as a shortcut for this, as well as the actual buffalo sauce and butter. I don't know if you guys know, but that's typically how buffalo sauce is made, the actual hot sauce part, and then you add butter to it. And then for the top, it calls for some celery and grated carrots as well as chives. I don't happen to have chives on hand right now and didn't want to buy some just for this recipe, so I'm just going to do the celery and carrots, which I typically have on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and get my veggies washed up and start prepping this one. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do for this one is prep your potatoes. I rubbed it all over with some olive oil, pierced it with a fork to make sure it doesn't explode, and then got it into a 400-degree oven to bake for 1 hour. I then went ahead and prepared the buffalo sauce. I did this by adding 3 tablespoons of butter and a 1/4 cup of buffalo sauce.
Next up, I made the dressing for this. This was a 1/2 cup of mayo, a 1/4 cup of buttermilk, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, a dash of Worcestershire, salt and pepper, and then I just mixed this up and kept it in the fridge until I was ready to top the potatoes with it. I then went ahead and added the chicken to that buffalo sauce and tossed it until it was all combined. You're then going to want to keep this warm until the potatoes come out of the oven. Once the potatoes are out, I added some salt. I then went ahead and mashed the potato. Next up, I put the sour cream dressing on and kind of mashed that into the potato. I then added some of the buffalo chicken. I then added some more of the dressing and then topped it with some celery and carrots. Guys, this recipe was super simple and actually tasted good and kept me full. Hey guys, it's Ryan. Welcome back to another installment of this What's for Lunch series. As you guys know, these What's for Lunches, I am cooking some potato recipes. I'm trying to give you guys some inspiration out of the box using baked potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, to provide a filling but fun lunch. Today we are going to be making a pizza baked potato recipe from the Pioneer Woman. As you guys know, I love Pioneer Woman recipes, so I have no doubt that I will love this recipe. You use marinara sauce, pesto, Parmesan cheese, and of course baked potatoes. So I don't know what's not to like about this one. I think they're going to be great. So let me go ahead and show you guys the recipe as well as the ingredients you're going to need to create this one. All right. My apologies, guys. I have no idea where the clip of me showing you the ingredients or the recipe went, but I'm sure you guys will get the gist anyway. So I started this recipe by getting my potatoes into the oven, a 400-degree oven that I roasted for an hour. When the potatoes are almost done, you're going to want to add 2 garlic cloves to a 1/4 cup of olive oil and then heat that on the stove. I then went ahead and got the spice mixture together. This was a 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. When your potatoes are done roasting, you're going to go ahead and add that spice mixture into the garlic butter garlic olive oil that you made. You're then going to mash the potatoes and add that garlic seasoning to the potatoes and kind of mash it into the potatoes. After you've done that, you're going to add 1 cup of marinara sauce that you have warmed on the stove to all 4 of the baked potatoes, so spread it out evenly over the 4. You're then going to go ahead and add 1.5 cups mozzarella cheese as well as a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Then you're going to add this back into the oven under a broiler until the cheese is browned and bubbly. That should take about 2 minutes. And then after these potatoes come out of the oven, you're going to add a 1/4 cup of prepared pesto, spread evenly amongst all 4 potatoes. I'm not going to lie, guys, this was not my favorite potato recipe of this video. It turned out kind of heavy and just was not my favorite. Nevertheless, I hope this video gave you some good inspiration for lunches to make for yourself and your family. If you guys like what you saw, I'm back every Wednesday with some What's for Dinner videos to give you guys some cooking inspiration for you and your family. I hope to see you back on my channel soon. Bye!